Thank you very much. Today we will talk a little bit about the. It's a personal look at what Japanese investment has been in Chile, and I will try to explore some axis or idea that seems to me that integrates both Chile and Japan strategies in this current context of global challenges and decarbonization. And finally, just to mention some short briefing about what we do here in Chile and Japan. So just as a framework, I would like to place ourselves in a substantial part of the general objectives of foreign investment, where, in my opinion, both Japanese institutions and companies have managed to actively combine the three key elements that enable this foreign investment. Chile and Japan already know the advantages of our countries, how mutually synergic we can be. In the case of Japan, it recognizes our institutional seal of Chile, rule of law, and how it uses all our talents in different disciplines. And that is, in fact, companies and institutions have settled in several of our regions in multiple sectors and always having businesses using very effectively the resources available. And when this echoes to their own capacities and needs, it has managed to generate this first area of feasible investments. And and there are many cases in which this domain of feasible investments has included our public political strategic goals. Maybe early in the 60s, where the development of mining, and it continues then, some work in Antarctica in the 70s, algae and salmon farming during the 80s has been up to now very important. Astronomical research and exploration also is part of the key activities we do together with Japan. But today also we are seeing the birth of this green hydrogen society, just inserted in same as Japan, and on these ambitious decarbonization goals, aiming for net zero, as Juan Pedro and Julio said, emissions for 2050, ideally before, of course. So regarding the main investments, I would say that practically all the large Japanese corporations and companies have implemented part of their strategy aiming to ensure supply of essential raw materials, and slowly moving to other areas. They have expanded in Chile and in several parts of the world, of course, mainly in Southeast Asia and ASEAN, and some time ago in China also. And but in case of Latin America, well, initially in Brazil and Mexico, linked to the automotive and electronics industry, and a little bit less into the food industry maybe. And in Chile, Japanese has been based on the industry of natural resources, great copper mining, the forest industry, the fishing industry are very relevant of the Japanese presence in Chile. And lately, many other companies have built on this basement and then started getting involved in renewable energy, in water treatment, and other utilities as gas and general services, IT technologies and telecommunications. Now very important with the submarine cable. Probably we will be physically somehow binded with Asia, and And all these activities are showing a slow transition to intermediate products with value added addition, leaving this option um, they're practically focused on food initially, aquaculture and fishing industry, some portion in agribusiness, and but this is what they know. Uh, Japanese companies know they can have a guarantee of quality, traceability, and safety in these cases, which have allowed all these developments, which is being now recognized by Japan final clients. Finally, their clients are the ones that are starting to have more and better information about Chile. And and in parallel, sometimes prior to the establishment of the companies, there's a broad platform of cooperation and joint exploration activity that has been built on learning by doing programs. I'm referring to JICA, JOGMEC, and JETRO programs that have gradually incorporated the arrival of companies that are now located in a vast range of activities. And this slowly has meant that Chile and Japan have benefited from a continuous flow of independent programs and the information that today allows these relations to be placed on on a mutual trust place, and where the structural advantages. Well, I was saying that the JCM is in the same category of cooperation and integration to national projects and the development of new industries, and it's very evident the, what what I am saying, and they told us Saito-san has been closely involved in the development of JCM, and we have seen how this really has been ongoing in this mechanism, and there will be surely a continuous increase in projects under this program in the next coming years. I'm sure of that. Finally, it must be said that all these structural attributes of the country and risk ratings and have led Chile to remain as an important investment destination. So JBIC also, especially and other financial institutions, have played a relevant role for those companies that have chosen to expand or continue expanding their activities in Chile. So we hope that the progress of regional integration experiences will mean also additional attraction for companies that are focused on expanding their influence in the region, developing from an active presence in Chile, help with this integration, let's say again. Regarding the potential of Japanese investment, it seems to me that we are in a moment of change. I see something like a second shift of investment, a new derivative in a stage of clear interest in participating, and broader views towards Latin America, and many are happy to do it from Chile. I think that the fact of being, as has been said, some kind of a emission depository country in some long term, maybe, or mid to long term, can make a stimulating push for Japanese companies also to build their future, part of their future in Chile. We heard that in university that broader spectrum of goals requires a more extensive set of instruments. So my reflection is that potential of Japanese investment comes precisely from there, in letting a more complex forms appear to relate to business. Some people call it the big push, where each component that structures an investment must necessarily consider the trend and contribution to clean up its footprints. And clean energy is here to stay, and we are already aware of this, but a substantial future needs, sustainable future needs also much more than only generating green energy. And this is evident, and as the need to reduce emissions from land, from marine transport, etc., circular economy and fair trade, they have slowly gained a place, and still there's much to be done to focus on carbon capture or in many different cases. Obviously, this commitment includes Japan, who, despite having reached a peak of emissions in 2007, a great merit that other many developed countries, if not all, have not yet achieved. But those 1,200 million tons of CO2 need to be reduced to 76, according to the figures they have showed, more than 86% from the current level. So that's a big challenge. They must do it in their generation sector in Chile, and highly fossilized after the Tohoku triple disaster, and from its heavy industry and from mobility from many sectors. And according to the projections, they will do it somehow in a mix of several, but green hydrogen and its derivatives, mainly ammonium, maybe, will be very important as new vectors to achieve this net zero also for Japan. Today we see that every heavily industrialized economy is seeking to have a plan for hydrogen, some in production or consumption, some for co-firing in some plants, in coal plants, or blending with hydrogen in combined plants, or injecting some to the pipes, gas pipes also. And we firmly believe that today conditions are ripe enough to begin cleaning the footprint of different existing production processes. And many of those related to Japanese investments. Some are already in transition with piloting stages, which will surely mean a growing impact on the sustainable development plans and goals, and see that they are also part of Japanese commitments. So adding this broader business vision with evident mitigation, adaptation, and integration, I will use those three components. Green investment funds related or similar to JCM, or the starting with JCM and other, like the other funding probably that the same JCM has started with ADB or with World Bank, will tend to be finally the sources that lead this all the structured financing that is ready and necessary to be done. And in these areas of cooperation and binding things, Japan has a big experience and leadership, I would say, in world sense. The potential for me is integrating these goals, these two major goals for Japanese strategy for everything, assuring supply and reducing emissions. I think that both countries can be virtuously integrated along this path to carbon neutrality and climate transition. And JCM mechanisms projects show excellent opportunities for achieving these goals, starting to achieve. It's the right path. We must not only assure the supply and 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 but we must strengthen the international supply of these kind of goods like green hydrogen or its derivatives. So, and we are committed to move quickly towards increasing amounts of green hydrogen in the matrix in Japan, and always with a clear aim to be as lowest cost possible as we have always done. So again, the political matters, the natural conditions, and the needs of investors are together in this matters. So in 2017, InvestChile decided to open this office in Japan, which I am leading since then, and and yeah, we are working to integrate these goals um, in all what we do, in everything. And we work directly with investors, providing dedicated advice specified according to the stages of that decision. Uh, Today we were talking with some company with a little bit more than a prospect, and thinking, and there some information is needed when they are, yeah, more or less ready or near to land. They have we guide and connect them with investors, so we can really, we have a big team in Santiago, and we try to help to better understand what is to do business from Chile. Once installed there, as many Japanese companies know, we support them with several initiatives to improve and expand their ties with Chile or all the countries that with whom we have FTAs. And for this 2021, we hope to be concreting more steps to achieve this deeper integration with JCM. Uh, all the projects are very interesting, and I think that city to city projects are surely very challenging and yeah, fascinating. Really, this is what we can do, and this new scheme, together with the World Bank for scaling up, offers new views and that are very necessary. So. Well, that's more or less what I could say. So thank you again for your patience and time dedicated to this seminar.